Well, pardon me while I take care of a technical difficulty. Those of you who are joining me early on, I appreciate it. And if you didn't know, if you didn't find out the hard way like we did, Zoom was down for a bit, and looks like I don't know if I'm on Facebook or not. You know, if anybody's on Facebook, let me know because it says they've got me covered. Don't know what that means, but let's see. We're trying. I'm trying. And while you're waiting, I'll tell you a little story. So you get a profile picture while I tell you because I got to do the technical stuff. I got to look at the technical stuff. Oh, there we go. I'm back on Facebook. But I'm going to tell you the story anyways. So I spent 25 years in the Army. And by the way, if you didn't read the title, it's management versus leadership. That's what I'm talking about today. And I spent 25 years in the Army. And at no point did I ever hold a position that had the word manager in it. But interestingly enough, I only held one position that had the word leader in it. That was my very first position when I graduated from Texas A&M, got commissioned as an engineer officer, and went with my beautiful Texas bride, Miss Suzanne, to Alaska. Yes, north to Alaska, Fort Wainwright, Alaska, Fairbanks, Alaska, in the Arctic for 4 years. And that position title was platoon leader. That was it. I had staff officer quite a few times, and commander. But not once did this word show up. Now, as I was preparing for today, one of the things that popped in my mind, I think it was an Air Force operation I was part of, a joint operation with the Air Force. I believe it was them, the flyboys, we'll just call it that, whether it was Air Force, Army Aviation, or even the Navy. They had a mission manager. Now, I was never a mission manager. I never had that experience. What I'm going to talk to you about today is the fact that somewhere, somebody decided that managers was a bad word. Managers aren't any good, and we should all be leaders. Now, yes, 100% we should all be leaders. It starts with ourselves, leading ourselves. But you know what? You can't lead yourself if you cannot manage yourself. Because a leader, and by the way, I wrote a couple of key words up here on the board. You'll see as I bounce back and forth. So if you're quick with the pencil or a screenshot when I'm sliding around, you can see them. But what does a leader do that is so much different? A leader influences people. But a manager directs people. Wait a second here. Let's think about that. Can I direct somebody to do something if I'm not influencing them to do it? I mean, think about the physicality of this. Let's do a timeout here, folks. Does that mean that as a manager, since I cannot influence them to do it, I'm going to take their hand and say, hey, grab part A and move it to tab B? No. A manager is still influencing. It's just a different philosophy of it. Because what's happening, you have to do both. Here's the bottom line, folks. I'm going to cut to the chase right now. I ain't going to beat around the bush at all. It's been a long day. I got to meet a lot of great people today at the Accelerant Breakfast, and a friend of mine's sales training lunch. Got a lot of free food, so I got full belly. Some great folks I met. So my mind's all over the map with talking with these great people. and helping them understand what it takes to lead and talking to them about leadership. And as I prepared for this talk and thought about that, the reason this whole thing of, this is the one I want. Got to get the right color pen. I wanted red. Let's see if, hopefully my red works. I didn't do a test. Did test all my other colors, but hopefully red works. The reason this management versus leadership happened is, you know why? It's because somewhere along the way, some folks had a bad boss, a bad manager, if you will. And that manager was a manager because that's what the title says. The title said manager. It didn't say leader. It said manager. So when that person is a piece of crap, cannot lead himself out of a paper bag, is toxic, is, by the way, Otis's world, there is no such thing as toxic leadership. There's only leaders and people who ain't. So if you are involved, if you are one of these people that's got a bad manager, they're not a leader. They're a person who doesn't know how to lead. They're a person who doesn't know how to take care of people. They're a person, switch sides here, that doesn't know how to set a vision, create influence, has followers because they're followers, they have to force into it. They're not proactive. They're not a risk taker. They're risk averse. And they don't pull, they push. Back to you're going to take my arm and move my grip of something from here to there. In the end, that person is not a leader, and they're not a manager. But somewhere along the way, not if you know who it was or where it came up, somebody decided that management was bad. I'm here to tell you, I've worked with a lot of people over the years, both as clients, worked for, had them work for me, who were leaders because that's the type of person they were. They pulled people in. Now, let's talk about a scenario of somebody who we label as a leader. And they do all these things, right? They can set a vision. They can influence you. This vision's great. They can do all these things. Heck, they could even write a 5-paragraph field order business plan. And it's an awesome plan. And man, the team and the rest of the business team, they're all bought into it. And they're excited about it. But then when it comes time to getting things done, they can't do it. Because as some leaders I've known, and I still call them leaders because I think they are so caught up with the next thing that they suck at these things. Now, a great leader knows that he sucks at this. And you know what a great leader is going to do? He's going to find a dude who's really good at this. Really good at it. That's what great leaders do. Because they can set the vision. They can create this vision. Hey, folks, this is what we're going to do. They can influence you, sell the vision, get you to believe in it, and say, that's what I want to do too, boss. Then you become a follower. And you know what else they do? They are always looking for the next thing. Let's pause there. Back to our management skill sets. If I'm always looking for the next thing, what about today's thing? If I'm always looking at the 300-meter target, what about the 50-meter and the 25-meter? targets. I've got to take care of those too. And that's where these things that fall under the management category become so important to be successful. The policies, the procedures, the systems that enable us to launch to the next thing, that enable us to do more, to see more, to grab more, to grow more. That's what these things do. Now, if you see this right here ahead, here's why I wrote that. Because we're thinking about things as we're doing things, right? We're in the process orientation mode, and that's what head means right there. But when we go over here to the leadership side, it becomes our heart. Sorry about hitting the microphone there. It becomes heart, because what are we doing as a leader when we influence? We influence our people. When you're influenced to do something, you're doing it with your heart. You're pulled into it. Whereas a manager sometimes, depending on the situation, sometimes has to push people to do things. But they still got to get people to do things. They're still influencing them to do things, but a manager's job is the detail orientation on the details is what the manager must do. That's where the policies, processes, systems, being work focused, schedules. Those of you who've been watching Tribe and Purpose videos, you hear me talk about life management. Life management happens when you lead your life. When you live your life with intention, back to leadership side again, right? But in order to manage my life, I've got to have the systems and processes and the schedule to be successful in order to lead my life. So really, in the end, it ain't, wait, where'd my red pen go? There it is. It is not, I'll say it again, it is not, I'll stomp my foot. I don't know if you can hear it, but you saw the camera shake because I'm stomping my foot for those of you in the Army. It is not that. Management and leadership is this. The greatest leaders do management and leadership. The top 1% leaders, and I've known a few of them. I've had the great fortune of working with a handful of them. The very, very top leaders use these very mundane, unsexy things to drive the sexy leadership. Because we all want to be in charge. I don't know about you, but man, I thrive at being in charge because I love the responsibility. I love helping people, leading people to achieve a common goal and success. It thrills me. But I also know, and I don't look at it as bad. I look at it as these things, the policies, processes, systems, schedules, those things enable me to do more of this. Because a great leader uses this to multiply this, and this to multiply this. It goes back and forth. You can't have just one. You can't be one or the other. And one is not worse than the other. They enable you to succeed. They enable you to lead. If you're a rah-rah leader, and I've worked with them primarily in sports, the rah, and you don't do anything, people get tired of the rah-rah. You know? The guys who want to pump it up and, you know, got everybody jumping up and down, hoop. If you don't perform after doing all that, it's fake. And the only way that you can perform consistently is through management. These tasks over here that are management tasks. Then you can be the leader over here that sets the example, that leads from the front, that pulls people along because they want to be there because you've established these systems and processes. So, leaders do both. Great leaders are great at both. And the greatest leaders are not only great at both, but they're great at bringing people in through these steps that are really good at these steps. Let me tell you, an organization that has a powerful leader who can set a vision and have influence and pull people in and can identify the skill sets and match somebody into here to do these things also and implement them and execute, not just talk. Man, that organization's unstoppable. I don't care what happens. That's how you succeed, because it's not a either or, it's an and. It's management and leadership. Great leaders can manage. And managers, that job title, can be great leaders. They need to be. And if you want to learn how to be a great leader, go to 10xyourteam.net. Look at the programs that we have. We've got a couple of good ones. Well, they're all good, pardon me. We got a couple of new ones. Newest one is our CEO Jumpstart. That's for the solopreneur that's just getting started. Maybe it's you and your partner. You've got a good idea at the kitchen table, and you want to set yourself up for success so that you can create the vision and implement it and execute it. That's what the CEO Jumpstart will help you do. Set the foundational growth in leadership and organizational processes and culture and values right from the start. So that in 2 years and 3 years, when you've got employees and you've got people on your team and all these sort of things going on, that you're not playing catch up and going, oh crap, I think Otis said something, I ought to have something like that. I better stop what we're doing. Start it from the very beginning and adjust. The other program we've got focused on leadership is our Steel Men Tribe. And this is a special small group of men working together to help each other become great leaders, to have an effect on the world. Because if you haven't heard me say it today, I'll say it now, what my purpose is, what the Tribe and Purpose is, and that is to create a legacy of great leaders. Because we believe great leaders create great organizations. And when we have great organizations in our communities, we have better communities. And when we have better communities around the world, we're going to have a better world. That's how we do it. And the Steel Men Tribe is a group of men working together shoulder to shoulder in masculine leadership, which is propensity to action, to make the world a better place by working together to help each other become great leaders, to help each other manage, create processes and systems so that they can grow and then continue to execute and achieve that vision. Because I can tell you, just a little review, you cannot get that without this. Know this, know that. Pretty simple, folks. So, back to 10xyourteam.net, CEO Jumpstart. If you are a startup business, that's the program for you. Amazing program to help you set the foundation of leadership early on, leadership and culture early on in your business so that you're not playing catch up or your business doesn't fall apart at the wrong time. Or as we like to say, you don't have to fire yourself as your business starts to grow. And I'll tell you one of my favorite things is our leadership development program. Partly because I've taken what I've learned in 25 years of being a Green Beret, leading men into dangerous situations, combat, crappy situations, frustrating situations, writing policies and procedures. I've taken all those experiences and added in my 15 years of entrepreneurship, business development, program management into this one leadership development program to help you become a great leader. Because that's what I want. I want you to have greater success. I want your business to grow. I want your business to succeed. And the only way it does is you have to lead it. Because leadership leads to success, and leadership starts with you. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to do this again next month, and it'll be a fun one. Well, they're always fun. If you can't tell, I enjoy this. The leadership pipeline. What is your leadership pipeline? Do you have one? Do you even know what I mean? If you don't know what I mean, keep an eye out. Late May. I'll look at my calendar since I've got time. I didn't talk that long today because I get excited sometimes. There it is. 21 May. Mark your calendars, folks. 1500 Mountain Time. I'm going to talk about leadership pipeline. How you can start to develop leaders in your team. And why do you want leaders in your team? Because you want to win. You want to succeed. If you're all a bunch of followers, who's leading? And I can tell you this, the best followers are great leaders. So I'll see you on 21 May. Thanks for joining us today. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a note at otis@tribe-purpose.com. And you know what? Go to 10xyourteam.net. Become a great leader yourself. You deserve it. Your team deserves it. The world deserves it. Thanks.